Hello and greetings, my fellow Lone Darkins, and welcome to a dev update in February. This just come up on Steam just a little bit ago, so I did want to cover this. Concerning a lot of stuff, the console versions and some stuff we're going to be getting in a new update, March 30th, which actually is one thing of points we'll talk about because I did predict this when the DLC was planned when it coming out. Was very doubtful that they would meet their 8 to 10 week cadence. They never have. I mean, I do love the developers at Hinterland. Me and the CEO have had a long falling out. We've had a bad history. Not much of a nice man. That's the best thing I can say about him. But sort of the fact they blame their launch problems on me a little bit, which is kind of insane. You must admit. But anyway, so they do have a dev update diary. There are some interesting things in here I do want to talk about. I do apologize I haven't covered I've covered everything in the update and the DLC, but I haven't done a lot of other videos on it because I was kind of busy on the channel and there hasn't been a lot of meat on this DLC yet. Yeah, transition area maps, the new map, but there's not a lot. There's not a big, huge to it. We did cover it very well in a map tour video. You can find that on the channel. But let's, further ado, let's dive into this. It launched on December 5th. It is now February 10th. And yeah, nothing yet coming out for the other part. But they are getting the Mac version. That is finally coming out. I know people were sad about that. Finalized the build is released on February 15th. Okay, so that's about 5 days away. Very nice for Mac users. So that will bring it with the Windows version. Now, Xbox, and this is very interesting because I think Switch is even going to be further behind. Because Switch was a month after this, but now Switch was going to be in March. But now this is in March. So the team is working hard on finalizing testing these versions. A few hiccups with respective store setups. Because they kind of did a weird thing, I will say. I know the reason they split it into two game modes. But it doesn't seem to be helping them get any faster. But if I do that, should make it. They will also remember your saves will not work. I know people will not probably. A lot of people don't follow social media and they probably won't watch YouTube. But just a reminder you that your saves will not work on consoles with this update. Even if you do not buy the DLC, you're kind of SOL there. Okay, so that is Secure Territory, Wednesday, March 15th. That's going to bring everything else in mind. Of course, they will need a couple days. Xbox usually needs at least 3 days. So hopefully they had the build by then. It usually takes about 3 days. And respectfully, this version has had a couple bugs. More than I would actually, not notice. Yeah, more news on Nintendo Switch version in the coming weeks, which means further delay. So if you were looking forward to that on the Switch, you're going to be waiting a while. Overhaul system on this is mentioning again. They will say they over communicate, but I mean, also a lot of the console players and other PC players in general, they don't keep up on the news as much as I do, of course. Yeah, unfortunately, current survival save modes will not work once the game went to update. Unless you do want to stop the update, I don't think you can stop the updates, game updating on Xbox or PlayStation. You have to see. Yeah, other stuff is fine, but yeah, you'll just lose any survival saves. And then we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of this Tales of Far Territory Part 2 launch date and features. And do bear in mind they are targeting a launch. Doesn't mean we're going to hit it, though. So just taper your expectations, though. We will be covering it on that day if it does come out. It will be coming out, though, for Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, and the Epic Games Store as well. The work on Part 2 is nearly complete. We'll be ending the testing phase soon. Yeah, by development reality. So I would expect another delay. I would almost say I do not expect them to get this done in the year they had planned. Steam reviews have not been. I mean, Wintermute actually seeing a little bit of an uptake. And I don't have a problem with the Wintermute at all. I mean, I don't think it's spectacular, but I don't think it's bad as well. But Telfar Territories DLC reviews scores are not great. And there's not a lot of them, which is very telling because there's only about 300 or so. So that's not DLC not selling great. We'll have to see how it does on consoles. It might do better. But alright, the feature concept for part 2 will include tales, so one of those survival tales. Signal Void. plus 5 hours of playtime. So I don't know if that's a challenge or is that going to be just included in the survival mode. They had talked about that. Probably set out in, I would think, Forsaken Airfield. Definitely looking forward to that. One thing I'm really looking forward to, an early arrow game, even earlier than going to the Forge. Fire Hardened Arrows. Now, that will let you get, I do believe, probably rabbit and deer. I know it said scare away a wolf, but I don't think you're going to be able to bleed them. But early, nice early game. A handheld shortwave radio, which will lead you to those caches and all that. Yeah, Transpander cache gameplay. Uh, no, I won't think. The one thing I haven't been really great on this DLC is because there's been a lack of love for interloper players, really, because everything I cover, a lot of the stuff I covered for the new update was everything that was in Stalker mode or below. You do not get any of those DLC items in here, and we probably won't get the bunkers as well. So that's another thing. It's just a lack of, you can leave them empty. I am liking the detail on this though. And it's another weird thing is because they took the bunkers out temporarily, and they're basically prettying it up a bit. And I kind of feel like that's rehashing it as content, but we'll have to see until when we actually get to see them. So I think you'll be using the shortwave radio. They replaced the bunkers to maybe make these caches you will find, and 3 new clothing items. Ooh, exciting though. So once again, I don't know if interloper players will get that. So we'll have to see. And this is the updates for anybody that owns a Long Dark or Survival Edition. I think this will also be coming to this version as well. A little clarity in that. Enhanced prepper bunkers, which I think they will just maybe pretty that up. So you'll still have the bunkers, but you won't have maybe the gameplay related to that. You might have to find it, may be a little harder to find. Enhanced beach combing, we'll have to see how that goes. Acorns and oak trees, though. Oh my, very nice. Post release. They do have that roadmap, but so far, I don't know why sometimes we make roadmaps if we do not keep to it. I just only see, because I see a lot of developers doing this. They make these roadmaps, and I think you really need to, when you make a roadmap, go farther along. Go farther along than you normally. Add some time. Even if you think you can, the internet is not a nice place sometimes. So just save yourself a little bit of headache. If people get angry initially, it's going to take so long. It's better. Set the date out a couple more weeks. That's okay. I do not expect this to be done in the year. But all right. And then a couple these issues I have not. My main issue is the AI, and the AI has actually gotten worse. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we got looking forward to in the next month. Next update. I think this is going to be better than the initial launch with this stuff. I think it will be better. They're putting the bunkers back in. I'm kind of mixed feelings about that one if you're counting that as DLC. Something that was already in. But overall, I am really looking forward to this one. We're going to dive in. I find some new content and hopefully the signal avoid. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is my time. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. We got a new Interloper run currently going Tales for Our Territory DLC and their previous build as well. We still got our old Interloper run. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next Long Dark video.